Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast, The Two Mics with Kelvin and Charles.
Hi guys, my name is Charles. Welcome to this podcast as well. Look forward to an interesting conversation with you, Moretti.
Definitely we'll discuss everything and we hope that we'll be very factual. We'll try to be as factual as possible. Like we want to have as much as fun as possible as we discuss global issues and trying to relate them to the Kenyan, reality. And of course, we'll want to get inputs from you guys on things that we can discuss and feedback on things that we've discussed. And whenever we are not factual enough, please call us out. Amani Chalo.
What? Yes, Moretti.
He's not listening, he's texting his girlfriend, Charles. Okay, so our player. Okay, thank you so much, Charles.
So, Moretti, you can introduce yourself.
Unajua?
It's called courtesy, Moretti. you wait until you are told to speak.
When you're boring, I don't want our listeners sleeping on our first episode, Charles.
It's fine. Speak now, Moretti.
Okay. Thank you so much, Charles, for that underwhelming introduction. My name is Kelvin Moretti, and I'm really excited to actually begin this journey of sharing things that we discuss. Me and my friend here, we are always arguing about things, and we thought, what is a better way than to share our craziness with the rest of the world, and hopefully they'll give us some of their money. Obviously,
not. Podcast make money with it?
We're not making money, Charles.
But guys can use it to make
money. I know you underemployed right now, but Charles, let's not milk money from the public.
COVID-19 can use every chance to make money.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're listening to this, number M-Pesa iko hapo chini.
Anyway,
maybe she should get an M-Pesa deal or something. Yeah.
Anyway,
good idea, Moretti, isn't it?
So today we are discussing I want to say the middle class spending, and middle class in quotes, spending in Nairobi. And what sparked the discussion today is I came in late for the podcast. We were supposed to begin at 3 and I came in at 6:30, and it's because I was doing some shopping with a friend of mine in town. And so when I came in and they saw some price tag on one of the pieces of clothes, they started attacking me and insinuating that I'm wasting money. And so definitely now that is what is going to inform the discussion for today, and we are going to discuss and see if indeed we are wasting money. And Charles, you had a theory about why I'm spending money like I am.
Moretti, I'm not going to go into that theory so much. I'll just say that there are interesting trends in how people spend money. So they're just trends that I've picked up. It's controversial, so let me not go into it, Moretti, right now. The reason I bashed Moretti is because I've known him for so many years. So it's interesting when you see someone, like, I know where he shops. I know the kinds of places he shops. So, do you want me to go into details, Moretti?
Go ahead.
So in campus we were roommates. Moretti and I, okay, not I, because, well, I wasn't working at Unilever. But anyway, so yeah, Moretti used to be, I like your sense of fashion, Moretti. I think everyone tells you that. I think you go out of your way.
Okay, I don't go out of my way, Charles. It just happens.
Oh yeah, it just happens. For people like me, we just...
We have to put in effort.
Yeah, we have to put in effort.
A lot of effort, I might say.
Yeah, so we've also had some episodes where, we've had to fight about clothes and stuff like that. But the guy who has seen you go shopping at Gikosh, a really good place I like, Isilia, like they're very, very good places. So it's interesting to see the evolution of Moretti, LC Waikiki and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with it, Moretti. There's nothing wrong. It's just that when someone like me, when I make those decisions, I ask myself a lot of questions. So why the need? You see, there are people who compare such places and they think about how I can buy a trouser here, I can buy a shirt here.
And I agree with you.
Because I see these good places, but there's also the aspect of do you have, like, you might have all the money. Do you have to spend all that money and things like that?
I agree with you.
And even El Swahili is not the most expensive place. There are more expensive places. You could
so I should go to the more expensive places. Tells your point.
No, I'm just saying.
Crumbling.
I'm just saying. When I would like to know, Moretti. let me put this in, let me organize my thoughts here. Moretti, what informs your decision when you're going to buy something somewhere? And at the back of my mind, no, not just at the back of my mind, I just want us to be clear that I'm not against where you shop, Moretti.
Okay.
Your choice, your clothes, your choice. How does it go? Your money, your choice.
My body, my choice.
No, not your body, your choice. But when you want to shop, I wouldn't like you to think like, what would Charles do?
Okay, fine.
But what goes on in the back of your head when you say, I'm going to go to this place to shop today, and things like that. You see, inform us, Moretti.
You see, Charles, it is true that when I was in campus, I used to go to Gikomba, and I used to go to Muthurwa, and so there are a few things. There are a few things that I think it's important that we take stock of, and definitely there is room for how you. There is room and space for checking how you're spending your money, and what I would say is that at every level there is a context that informs your spending habits, and this is not to say that Gikomba is a bad place. This is not to say that all these other places are bad. But now the thing is, as you move on with life, for example, now there's a place, I'm sure there's a kibanda you used to go to back when you're in college that you wouldn't go to today. It's not because that place has but people kind of morph. And again, now the other question becomes, when you talk about wasting money, the question becomes what informs how someone spends money. And my argument would be, if the person that is spending money is financially prudent, if say I'm spending just a small fraction of my income on my clothing, remember, first of all, Charles, for one to be able to go to Gikomba and all these other places, there's a lot of effort that has to be put in place. Gikomba is deep inside. The place I used to go to is a journey. Right?
It's also burnt right now.
Sorry?
It's also
kumetomeka juzi. But my point is, it's a journey. Okay, there are inconveniences that come with that. There's even the COVID situation that comes with that. But my point is, if I'm able to conveniently be able to shop around me in a manner that does not cost me to spend my income, I would say wastefully, I do not necessarily see a problem with that, in the sense that because you have to look at it, Charles, from the point of view of the level of income. I'm not in any way, I hope this doesn't come out I hope it's not coming out as
I'm not the one who said it, Moretti.
Okay.
However,
no. Maybe. Let me clarify. What I mean. What I mean is, say the same shirt, I would be able to get it at half price if I went to Isili, for example. But now, when you look at the effort that has to be put in to go to that place and the risk with the COVID situation and all that, and not even just with the COVID situation, but generally, if you're able to spend money, remember there is a certain portion of your income for you to be financially prudent that you're supposed to spend on certain things. A piece of clothing is not something that you're buying every day, right? Mm-hmm. It's not something that you're buying every day.
Yeah.
So if I'm spending all my money going to Urban Gourmet every day, that is wastage of money, right? But on a piece of clothing that you buy every now and then, I do not necessarily see it as waste.
Really, for a person with a very good sense of fashion, who I know would, if you spotted a good tie next week, I'm sure you'd go for it, right? If
I don't wear ties, so I wouldn't.
Not a tie. Let me say a pair of shoes or a shirt that you really like and you don't have it in your collection and it really match with something that you have, or even what is it called, those kofias, and so like you have a good collection. I think there's a heart you usually. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so you usually have this good sense of fashion, and so I can assume that you also clothes are some of those things that can trigger your impulsiveness, your impulsive buying side of you. So how do you deal with that?
You see, the good thing, and that's what I'm saying, Charles, every form of spending that you're doing must be informed by your level of income. And I believe that this is an issue that the quote-unquote middle class in Nairobi doesn't happen. Doesn't have locked. For example, I'll give you a very practical example. When you look at right now the cars that are selling nyanyas, everybody these days have become a vegetable vendor by the roadside on the back of their cars. And these are I was talking to an Uber guy who was telling me, now these are people who these are Ubers that are no longer getting an income from, due to the COVID situation. Now they're trying to monetize it and get some money out of it. And again, you see a lot of Kenyans, you find that they are buying all these things to be seen. They are buying cars to be seen. They're buying attire to be seen. They're buying expensive phones and all these things, but they are in debt. I remember I worked in a company one time where people would take out a loan, 60,000-70,000 to buy a phone just to look cool, right?
What? Repeat that point.
Someone would take out a loan, a very expensive loan, 80,000, just to buy a phone.
When was that?
Back in campus, and I don't want to without revealing too much. But my point is, when you look at how you're spending money, that's what I'm saying. It has to be informed by your level of income and spending within your income level for you to be seen as being a wise spender. And that's my point. As long as I am spending, as long as someone is spending within their income and they have enough money left out for saving, they have enough money left out for a rainy day, the rest is, I do not see an issue playing around with it. And once you, and especially now, having enough money for benevolence and helping out people who might be in need.
Okay. So I'm getting that you're talking about planning. You have a sense of planning.
Yeah. That
you like to plan how you spend your money.
Yeah.
So that means you have a budget, something like that. And you are talking about the idea of middle class and the way guys. Young money.
You see, Charles, let me tell you, before even Charles continues, sorry. Charles was saying that all these people who...
Are we really having that conversation?
No. let me just put it out there. Charles was suggesting that...
Please phrase it accurately.
Precisely.
Because you see, I did agree before. Let's have this disclaimer.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It's just an observation of statistics.
Yes.
And it's not 100% correct. It's for the most part what I've observed.
Yes. So Charles was of the opinion that people who come from shags, people who grew up in up country, in the village, where the maize comes from, these people are the people who are coming here to buy Waikikis and all these expensive, and going to Urban Gourmet and buying expensive cars for sure. And I couldn't help but kind of agree with him a bit, because when I look at when I look at some of my friends, we kind of fall in that category. And one of the reasons in that specific regard, that so he was of the opinion that people who are from Nairobi, who grew up in Nairobi with these things around them, they don't see the allure or the glory of buying some expensive things. In that regard, I kind of agree with him. But also now, when you look at on the flip side of it, I would be of the opinion that these people are coming from shags, that you're seeing from shags. First of all, they are the majority of the workforce, because Nairobi is 4 million people. Let me finish. Nairobi is 4 million Kenyans, and Kenya is made up of 40-50 million Kenyans. So definitely, the people who are going to come to Nairobi in the universities are going to be more than people in Nairobi. That's the first point. Are we all in agreement? So my point is, Nairobi is made up of, is it 6 million people? 4 million. Let's say Nairobi, because I remember the rest of the country is a factor of around 10 of what lives in Nairobi. So if it's around 4 million, the rest of the country is around 40 million. So going by that ratio, and definitely looking at the numbers, a majority of the workforce in Nairobi will be people from up country. people who studied in those upcountry and grew up in those upcountry will let alone come to Nairobi to work. Going just by the ratios, 4 million against 40, right? So that's the first point. And definitely then, these are the people, Charles, who will be able to get money. And these are people who are motivated by a desire to live a better life than they lived, right? And you can agree with me that they work very hard.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So, my point is, I would look at it in two ways. We do not necessarily have to say that the people who are spending this money in these places are necessarily wasting money. But there are those who are wasting money, which I tend to think it's majority of the middle class, because there's a data that we were reading earlier on that was saying that what's the percentage of Kenyans who get above 100,000, for example?
It's I think it's
73%.
Yes.
Less than.
Yeah.
Yes, 73% of the Nairobi workforce,
74% of employed Kenyans, salaried Kenyans, earn 50,000 and below.
Exactly. Now this person, angalia rent yake, reductions, he realizes quite a little money left to play, especially if you're working within Nairobi, right? No, I'm just saying. But in Nairobi, I'm just saying, yes, I agree with you, but you see now in Nairobi, that's not necessarily the case. And that's what the first point. And the second point, I would say is that I saw also another data that was from Central Bank. The percentage of Kenyans who have savings of above 100,000 is also, this is 5% of the workforce. Like a very small portion of Kenyans have savings above 100,000 in their banks. And you see Kina Waikiki thriving, you see Kina Bangome and all these fancy places thriving. You can't help but hope that people who are going here are not the people who are living on loans to look cool and look successful.
Yeah.
This is an article from Standard. We can maybe share a link on it. This is relatively expensive for the middle class individual informal wage employment whose take home on average on a nominal salary between 76,000 to 102,000 according to the latest report. So they are saying that in Kenya the middle class is someone who's getting 76,000 to 102,000. The IEA's report, middle class informal sector Kenya, found that there are about 272,000 middle class wage employees in Kenya, with another 74,300 wages employees taking home more than the middle class. A whopping 2.13 million employees take home less than 49,000. The World Bank puts the middle class individuals or households' daily income between $10 to $50. So if you are getting around 1,000 to 5,000 in Kenya per day, then you fall in this category. So now, yes, in Kenya, you see, middle class has to be contextual. You cannot put a blanket figure, a global blanket figure. So people earning between 20,000, 27,000 to 140,000 in Kenya. So and you see, these are it's a very, very nice link.
So does that justify some of this?
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You couple that report with the fact that what's the percentage of Kenyans who get more than 100,000?
Only 2.9% of salaried Kenyans.
Yes, only around 3% of salaried Kenyans are getting more than 100,000. You realize that many Kenyans are living above their means. Many people in Nairobi are living above their means. And that's why I think there are two categories. The people who are living above their means to look cool, which is very many of them, clearly as the data shows here. And secondly, there is another group of people who are living within their means, being able to buy these things, being able to do all these things, and within their means.
Another thing the living within your means, we are talking about guys who are salaried.
Yes.
So in Kenya, are you really living within your means? If let's say you lose your job tomorrow, you can lose everything. Yeah.
I was watching something by Centonomy, and they were saying, I think you should always ensure that you have at least 6 months, and something that a friend of mine was telling me, that's how you survive. You have at least 6 months worth of your monthly expenditures, recurrent expenditures, not this urban gourmet nonsense, for 6 months. Yes, for 6 months you should have savings worth that. So if you're able to reach that, I think you'll be on the clear. So because even if you lose your job, I think 6 months is enough time to play around with. And you see now again, Luvinzu, to go back to your point where you're saying that this, as you're putting the cost and these people shifting according to your income, this is what the discussion is about. Are Kenyans living above their means, young Kenyans living above their means to fit in? And you see, this is a big problem, because, and as I said, costs that you allow yourself to incur, not costs that just come, but costs that you are allowing yourself to incur. Because yes, I have an option. Once my salary has been bumped to 200 or 300, I have the option of upgrading, and that is the human way of thinking. And I was reading this book called Sapiens, and he was saying that is basically how human beings evolved. Because once he was explaining that once your income goes up, it does not usually translate to an increase in your happiness, because you'll get 200,000 today, you're getting 100, you'll have the sudden excitement, and you'll be like, yes, now I have all this money, I can afford to live in West T. So you move to Westlands, your cost goes up, your places that you usually go get your vegetables, also the prices, so your cost goes up. And you realize that your happiness necessarily doesn't grow. But his point was, if you can be able to increase your salary and somehow figure, which is very humanly hard, but somehow figure out how to maintain your levels of costs, you're able to enjoy more, I would say, things. And to be quite frank with you, from a personal point of view, personally, when I moved jobs to my new current role, definitely there was an increase. Definitely there was an increase in my salary, but my cost didn't change. Like I live within the house in the house I used to live with. I live within the arrangement I used to live with. The costs are similar, right? So, and to be quite frank with you, I've realized that gives me a bit more room to play. That gives me a bit more to play with. Being able to support people that give people more support, maybe at home and all that. So I'm just saying that you have to look at it from the point of view of income and the costs that you are allowing yourself to incur.
We've talked about mostly how you spend your money, having, let's say, things you just like, having like clothes and all that to look good. So what about investing and all that? What do you do?
Yeah, so I think this conversation is quickly shaping out to be why spending. So we are talking about how we are spending it on ourselves. We're also talking about how we are able to help other people, because you mentioned that with this new change, you're still living in the same conditions you used to, but you have more flexibility maybe to help a friend, especially during this COVID. I hope you're not asking for that money back.
Yes, you have to pay me back my money.
Anyway.
You have to. Yes, so. Charles, I'm looking at you. You must.
Anyway.
I know where you sleep.
So things like that. We're also talking about what Kabingu just asked, investments, which also has it's not the same as savings, but it's basically looking into the future. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen in the future? Mm-hmm. What kind of safety net you would like to have.
So what is your opinion on?
I think I agree with everything that you have said, especially on being able to save for the future. it could be 5 months, 6 months, 10 months, depends on how much you can have. Like if you think about the COVID-19, nobody saw it coming. Nobody expects a pandemic to happen. Might not be a pandemic next time. Might be something just like being laid off, or
Kim Jong-un deciding, you know what?
Kim Jong-un deciding let me throw this in Africa. Let's test Africa.
Let's test it in Africa.
So things like that, and you want to be in a situation where you can help yourself, your family, and the people around you. So it's good if you can be able to save to that extent. It's good also if you can be able to invest in some meaningful ways. I don't know if I can talk so much about investments. I don't think I'm the genius in investments.
And to be quite frank with you, my opinion on investment is always that we shouldn't always put pressure on people to have investments.
Why so?
Because this is just my personal opinion. Investment in the form of say having a business and all that. Because not every person is a businessman, but of course you can put your money into circles where they zinazana, or you can put your money into some trusts that are able to invest for you. But my opinion would be that if your savings in one form or shape or the other is a form of investment in your future, and if you are able to invest, and this is just my personal opinion. Personally, I am an investment mind, and I'll definitely put in investment at some point, and some of it on the way. But I'm just saying that again, it's something I've learned not to put pressure on people to have businesses or things that they are not necessarily fall within their purview. I was watching Bill Barr saying that Steve Jobs was not a genius. Steve Jobs just went and told some faceless, nameless engineers at Google, I want these 1,000 songs in this device. Make it happen.
But that's being a genius.
No, that's being a boss, Charles.
No, as in the boss has the future, has the vision.
No.
The entrepreneur has
you see, my point is, that's a guy. That's a genius. That's a dude. You see,
I respectively disagree.
No. Let me make my point, Charles. Let me make my point.
Yeah.
What this guy did,
just for your information,
Charles,
I consider people like if you want to discuss tech people and leave Steve Jobs and Elon Musk out of this.
Listen, that is good for you.
Because I think those guys are geniuses.
No, Charles.
Okay, genius in a loose sense. That definition is in a loose sense. I think
Elon Musk, people. I think the level of respect I have for Elon Musk, I think is although we digress.
Are we talking about those?
Although we digress. Yeah. So my point is
just to make it clear, Steve Jobs may not be Steve Jobs, we might not use the word genius, the Einstein kind of genius, but he was a brilliant mind. But anyway, let's go on.
He's not as more brilliant than you and me, Charles. He just had a lot of resources. We digress.
Do you have a?
We digress.
Do you have an Apple? Do you have your own Apple company?
We digress. So my point is, everyone has. Mama Mboga si akona Apple company anauza apples. Charles, it's not that complicated. Anyway, my point is, when you look at it from the point of view of what happens in these places, we have two categories of people in business development like I, and then there are other people who are more into the technical aspects of the business. People who are doing network design, people who are doing the machine design. Those are two different aspects of people, and I do think there's room for both of them in the workplace and in the world. So some people are very good with business and growing and kuzalisha. Other people are good with supporting the growth in the back end, and I think there's room for both.
If I can add to what Kevin asked about investments, I've realized there is a gap in the knowledge people have in investments. So people might be having money and they don't know where to invest in. What you just said about you not giving people pressure to invest, it's a good thing. However, I don't think people should not be given that pressure.
Okay.
I think if it's possible, the essence of youth is the energy and the ability to do so many things. Why not invest? There's a time that's going to come. You won't be able to do all these things.
Okay.
So it's your choice to invest or not. But why would you not if you are able to? So the thing is, people don't know of the opportunities to invest. There's everything that autonomy teaches. You can get mentors to teach you or to tell you about good investment opportunities. And even I think even the Bible talks about how people build wealth slowly by slowly. So you don't need to have a lot of money. You can start by buying maybe it's whether it's small pieces of land or shares somewhere or things like that. Okay. The thing about saving is a lot of these saving plans will not. It's just you keeping money. It's in a sense, it's like the way you won't keep money for yourself because you might spend it. So you give it someone to save it for you, and then you come back for it. And the interest rate is whatever they tell you. So when you think about it that way, it's good to have savings, but you'd rather have that savings work for you. Okay. And in a sense, at the end of the day, have a constant flow of income, for example, from another place besides your job. I think that's maybe I was the one who was taught thinking that way when I was growing up, but I think it's something that should be encouraged, should be good, not just for yourself, but even for the sake of maybe creating the economy. And in a sense, I also think everyone has an entrepreneurial thing in them.
Born.
Yeah, you don't have to be you don't have to be a Warren Buffett, but you can handle money. As long as you can transact money and know that if I get 10 shillings, I can use 3 shillings for this, 2 shillings for this, I can keep this for the future. And in the future, I use this money to this. You don't have to have very big plans. You can have small plans that will actually lead up to something that is huge. And then there's the aspect of patience, because young people might want money to come quickly. Money doesn't always come quickly. Some people, we were in college, in the same college, and we know some of us went to very big jobs, started getting a lot of money. Some of us started from the bottom, still at the bottom, and
Now we're here.
But
Started from the bottom, we're still here.
So you see, but you see the thing again. The thing with youth is time and energy, and that you can build yourself. So sometimes it doesn't even matter how much you get. It all depends. Sometimes it depends
on your desire and your drive
and your your drive. And also the fact that you trust God that He will give you the wisdom to use your money wisely. Which, as I conclude, speaking of spending money wisely, I would like to also talk about how when you spend your money and when you invest your money, you don't live for yourself alone. I'm not saying you live for yourself. Nobody in this room has, but the aspect that when you work hard for your own. Because whoever does not work should not eat, right? Work was meant for people to do, and work is dignified in the returns that you get, and you being able to sustain yourself, the people, your families, and all that. But even taking care of other people, like during these times of Corona.
And you see, Charles, I'm not. Of course, I mean
that was just a
parting
shot. Yeah.
Okay, and I agree with you. And I agree with you that as I conclude that. I am a strong believer in the fact that it is pointless to have money just for yourself. I am a strong believer in the fact that if you say you care for people, if you say that you love people, the point of having resources when they don't is that you are able to support them. You're supposed to help out when you're required to, and I'm a strong believer in giving. So. In that regard, definitely I agree with you, and it's of course something I would encourage our listeners to forgive the schlabbing.
You're from Meru, right?
I'm from Meru. I'm even surprised my English is so good, or at all. So I have English, but my point is, I would encourage our listeners to give, to support, to help out, because people are really, really suffering in the country, and people are really suffering around us. And once God gives you an opportunity to share, you should be able to take it up and, share. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening in. We hope we earned the value of your time. I saw that somewhere in a movie.
I hope so too. I hope Moretti will be more thoughtful. Don't feel bad when you spend your money.
Okay.
If you can buy me a shoe or something.
Oh, whatever, Charles.
Take me out for coffee.
I am not your mother or your father. Talk to your parents.
You know. Anyway, it was good having this discussion. It's the first one. You're definitely having more like this.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and definitely would want your opinions on what you've learned or what value you've had or something that we can change to make the podcast better. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.